Yay! Go Bombers, go! And also go Carlton, because we're both teams. So go all the teams in the league. Yeah! Alright. Welcome YouTube. We're in here in the Legends playground. It is Carlton versus Essendon. In our game here, we literally have an Essendon who is the player 1, Carlton player 2. So we have had good times. We have had quite a few good times in recent memory with this game, so it's hoping to it continuing and just keep going. So this is oh, wrong controller.
He's generally a good kick.
This is the second last game of the round. We are still in round 13. But today we will have this game, and there will be the other YouTube video with the other AFL game, which is, I believe it's Melbourne v Collingwood. Yeah, there's a goal. I believe it is Melbourne vs Collingwood. So we will get through round 13 today, which is exciting. That feels good. Speaking of Melbourne, I was very happy to see that they got over Brisbane last night. Yeah, damn, that was a great finish for me. It was a great start. I'm like, cool. This start at the beginning all good. I'm like, fantastic. And then I wasn't feeling so great. The whole reason is that I'm invested in the Western Bulldogs not making top 4, so them losing the day prior, I wanted Melbourne to win just because they were in 4th place. So it was to try and keep, because of my investment to want the Bulldogs to not make top 4, I was really wanting Melbourne to win. So I was happy to see that. It made, I'm happy for the top 4 to remain as it is. That would be perfectly fine with me. Get rid of this. Inside you go. Come on. What is it? Today's Saturday, so it'll be interesting to see how today's games go. Yay. Oh, he missed. I know that personally, I would like to see Gold Coast beat St Kilda, I think. I'm looking at teams, because in my mind, what I'm invested in, I'm wanting Geelong and Sydney to make the 8. Kind of what I'm looking at. So there we go. Oh wow, he missed it. So I know that I'm wanting Carlton to lose. I'm wanting Gold Coast to beat St Kilda. I think Adelaide play GWS, which that's just I don't even know what I'm supposed to want in that exactly. I think I'm supposed to want GWS to win, but either or, maybe I want to draw. That's so unlikely to happen. But I did get my Geelong and Sydney draw. I did get that one, which was amazing. Hey, get your kicks down there.
Going for territory.
Come on, who can get it? The Crumb, Carlton. No, get rid of it. And Mr. Fisher, he has. Oh, he's missed it. I am pretty happy that we do have a nighttime game here. I don't remember if the Essendon Carlton game was a nighttime, but just because it's the first day in, it's the first game in, So that nighttime sky, having that background there as we get adjusted to playing the games. It's just easier. It's easier to deal with.
This should end in a shot at goal.
Oh.
Motlop trying to bring the
get rid of that one. No, keep it going. Okay, that's going to be a ball up. Unsurprisingly, yesterday, because I went for a walk, and it lasted 2 hours, and it had been a while since I walked, which it also included, it was a combination of walking and running, just because I was trying to speed myself up a bit, but then there were hills and everything, so unsurprisingly, I've woken up with my sore muscles here. I got sore legs, I got my sore butt. My butt muscles are sore.
This could hurt. They've coughed it up. Well done.
Get that kicks there. Unsurprising, but hey, that's what's going to happen. Kick over here. What you got? It's handballs. Another one. He's got oh, he's turned it over. It's going to be Pitternet. Kick. Oh, handball it. There you go. Off you go.
He's so clean with the footy.
I've also, I don't know if you can tell, but like, it had been a little bit since I'd like given my beard over here like a trim and stuff, you know, and like I tried to like change it up a bit. Like I still like having like bushy stuff at the bottom here, but I tried to that one's a bit, that's on purpose, but I kind of didn't get it right there. Like I was trying like to shave the top of it off. It's like I've done it before, like there's ideas of how that's supposed to work, but I didn't quite get it here. I messed it up a bit to what I'd ideally like to see, but on the other side, on the other side is, it's a bit funny for me what happened there. Like you might be able to see right here, like up here I think it's fine, but there's like a whole streak here by complete accident. I was because I had done like the shave the parts like bare. I had done like the bald parts at the top, right? But then I went to do like a touch up on side in here, like try to do that, but I forgot to put the clipper thing on. I forgot to put, I was just gonna say clipper on. I don't even know like the right words, but I forgot to put, I forgot to put the thing on. So I just got like a bold streak right there, which is I don't know. The thing is that I don't even like hate it as much as I thought I would have. But yeah.
Takes an excellent grab. Can he
get it kicks over here. Get it going. Oh. And get that ball. Get rid of it. There you go.
Manages to get off a handball.
Hopefully Carlton can get some stuff here. Oh, they're going to get this.
That's generous, and this could hurt.
Handball it back. There you go. You got Newman. Back to Sard. A little kick. Go. Inside.
He doesn't waste many.
Who you got? That's with Carlton again. Oh. Inside. Terra. Yes, he's got it. There you go. Doing the mess up here, it's always a thing, like always trying to work out what exactly to do with it all. Like if I'm styling it myself, there's it's almost inevitable I'm gonna go around screwing it up, you know. There's a thing. I can remember, I think the first time I cut my own hair, it would have been, I would have been maybe like 13 years old, 13, 14 maybe, and back then I had like a full hairline. I actually had a hairline, you know. So like on the top, like cutting the top is relatively simple. You can mess it up, but it is usually relatively simple to be able to do. But on the sides and the back, I remember I tried to do like this, I tried to cut it myself, but needed to use the clippers. That would have been the better. Would have been better just to have clippers, because what I did was I was cutting it and it was all like checkerboarded. So it was like, it wasn't ideal. At the same time, it was kind of cool. At the same time, I mean, like, okay, it wasn't good, but it was also kind of fun in hindsight to have like a checkerboard thing going, where it was all like wrong. But yeah, I'll get rid of it.
That's unusual. Martin, Setterfield, got the handball away. Caldwell, Draper, running in support.
Oh no.
He's pursued.
Might want to come get to that. There you. Oh.
McDonald, Tip and Woody.
But yeah, I'm at a point now where it's like I know that my hair's going. You know, like there's no hiding that. Like it's been going for years. At the top, there's like nothing at the front, pretty much. That's why the hairstyle is like how it is. I got no hairstyle. I just got hair just kind of hanging around at the moment. But I do got my stuff at the back, you know. The whole reason that I haven't like shaved my head at this point, pretty much, is I think I just like having hair at I just like having hair on the back, you know. And like I'm not ready to get rid of that, so like everything else is like staying around for now, you know.
Accepted the invitation. Out wide with the kick.
Either of you want to get that, you can. That is with Chera. He gets the ball back. He gets it out again. Mr. Merritt gets it. He might run back onto that. It goes with Redmond. Handball's back. That's Merritt. Keep it going. That's a nice one.
Working at close quarters.
Over here. Up with Merritt.
Takes the logical option.
Keep it moving around. The merry-go-round.
Time to measure the kick.
Oh, who has it?
Okay.
Wow, really? Charlie came all the way down there? Alright then. Oh, is that Motlop? It is. Handball it.
Sweeping handball.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a ball up.
Ask the question, but the umpire will
yeah, I remember. Usually I'm not one.
Good ruck work.
It was. I'm trying to think right now. It would have been God, how many years ago would it have been? It could have been like 4 years, 4 or 5 years ago, I think. That would probably been when I first noticed like my hair going, but at the same time, that's actually an interesting. I don't actually remember the exact time I would have first noticed it actually, but what I was trying to mention was that it was like the long hair. Like, as a kid, I never had like long hair. I always liked having it spiky, you know. That was kind of how I was, and then I found myself just growing it out. It was like I have had my time with like full long hair and having your hair ties in there.
Ridley under pressure.
I rember with the long hair that I found myself liking that liking it's meant to be like the samurai look. Like I kind of liked it. Like I actually liked that. There you go. But I think it took me a long while to even get around to looking at that as an option. Before then, I remember I would had it growing and growing, and then oh, I remember I was watching older years of WrestleMania for wrestling, just for my own interest, and I had long hair at that point. Because what I remember is that after I got to like, there was sometime in like the 90s, I ended up cutting like the front of the hair so that it had like that mullet rockstar look. Like that's what I ended up trying to go with.
Terrific tackle. Stoppage coming up on the wing. Rucks go at it.
Yeah, I could see myself getting the haircut soon.
They've worked it well.
I don't know. We'll see how that goes with it. It is on my mind.
Harassed into an error.
Get the with the Essendons.
Is anyone home?
I just got that. I just got that party in the back look with it back here. Pretty much just because I cut my own hair and I just like never got around to doing it. I just didn't want to go around to do it because like the back of the head is the hardest to get right. It's luckily it's the one that you can't really see, but it's also the one that's hardest to get right. Dick in here. Can you get the mark? There you are. Alright then, let's see what Jesse can do. When you bring it back to 8 points. Jesse Motlop, online, there you go.
He has produced a clinical finish there to cap off a terrific passage of play.
The Blues with the first of the second term. Parrish.
I just have the song Gangsta's Paradise in my head. I've had it in my head for quite a while for the morning right now. I think it was just because it was I was thinking back to my Legend-Oki days. You know, I was singing with my dinosaur buddy Bobby J. Because I still kept those videos up. Actually, I haven't gone back to look at them since I did them really. But I did keep them up. That was me. Like, it was me doing like my karaoke's with my best friend, my best friend Bobby J. Get rid of that, please. Out here. Oh no.
Doing the grunt work. Gathers it cleanly on the wing.
It was a fun time to do it, you know. I doubt if I went back at it, I'd be like, this is any good. I'm sure they suck, but and, you know, I would like to think that if I go back to see them, that I would see myself having fun, you know. I would like to think that.
Needs it to bend back, but it's not going to.
Okay, that's offline.
That passage of play deserved a better finish.
It's the kick out there.
Right up the guts with the kick.
They have numbers. They do get the mark. The little kicks on. Comes with bit of net. Who's he get? Mr. Fisher. Handball.
In the middle. Chera by hand.
That could have been better.
Now on center wing.
Yes. Kick over this way. Very nice to Nicky Martin.
He wants the corridor. That passage of
I found myself having a memory. So back in like I remember I would have first gotten into the political world of like watching stuff on that back in 2017, and then after a couple of years, I think I sort of found my way out of it, and it was actually fantastic. It was so amazing to be away from it because you realize, especially when you're away from it, just how like much of, I guess, a doctrine you kind of get, even if you like agree with what's being said. If you just keep getting like the same thing over and over, eventually it can get boring and stuff. I think what it was I just had other things I was interested in. I don't know, but having that time away from it, it like allowed my mind to really clear in terms of what I personally believed in. Like, yes, I can have those influences there, right? Like, I see that, but being away from it, it was almost like I almost take it like I was able to actually digest and see what I felt, you know. But it's also hard. It can also be hard for me to look now at the political things and all that stuff, and get back into them. That can be difficult, and it can be difficult because, like, I would have gotten to the point where I would have looked at things, and I would have like had like mental breakdowns. Like, I would have been down. Would I have been crying? I don't know, but I would have been mentally breaking down, realizing, like, looking at things like, oh my god, it doesn't really matter what I believe in or anything, or like feeling like trapped inside like a prison, like mental prison or anything like that. That's what I remember feeling that stuff, you know, and it was making it difficult to even want to, and even now it can be difficult, like, to want to like go into the things and look at it and be like, yep, this is what they're saying and stuff. Like, I got to that point where I just went, oh my god, the bullshit is, and just being like, it doesn't matter, and just being like, oh my god, it's everywhere. It doesn't matter, even if you like do things in the name of like liberty. You're not, like, you ain't gonna get it, because it's like, oh my god, even if you like overthrow, like, if you get rid of like the people in power just by having power and stuff, and it's like, well, it's the same thing pretty much. It's just the difference is just who's the beneficiaries, and like that was part of it in there.
Walsh is calm in a crisis. No wonder coaches go grey.
But then I will also think about of just being like, am I like upset, right? Like, I don't, like, I've been thinking about this in the moment. I don't fully remember, but there would be the idea of like, oh my god, I feel upset about something with the world. Is that reason that I feel upset about it because I actually am upset that that's the way it works, or that I am not the beneficiary of it? And I feel like it's more likely that I was just upset. I was and am even today just more upset I'm not the beneficiary. But like, I still want to be able to give myself room to actually be able to look at it and say, you know what? Maybe I actually am upset about the way things are, the actual actions of it, rather than just who's the winner, who's the loser of it. Over this way.
Fisher, good use of hands.
Mr. Chera. Who do you got? Hewitt. Kick it in.
That might attract.
Who's going to get this? It comes with Carlton. Akers. He's got that. Very nice. But I do think a bit about how, like, because you think of the things of like, oh, the children are the ones who like are more progressive and stuff. Like, the younger people are more progressive, and the older people are like the more conservative people. you see that pretty much throughout all of history, right? And like I just think about it and being like, well, it makes perfect sense, does it not? Like if you think of like just today, who are the people that have like a system or whatever are most likely integrated with a life that they've worked on? It's going to be people who are more older, you know? So like they're going to be more likely to want to keep things how they are, because the way things are is how they've kind of been living life and how they've had to adjust. Where like someone who's younger is like, oh, I'm not in like this power position right now. Yeah, it's so much easier to want to like change things. Like that's the thing. When you don't have that emotional attachment to the way the system is, like it's so much easier to just be cool with knocking things down and in the name of like progress and change, right? Like I feel like that makes so much more sense to feel like you're on that side, which is why more younger people would be progressive. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment, you know? Come with this. But then it's like, okay, well over time younger people become the conservatives. Is that because they themselves, like how much of that is they go through life with their experiences and they're establishing and they've gone past the stage of not being in that system, establishing a life for themselves. What was I saying? How much of it's they've gotten past that point and now they're like, oh actually, yeah, the idea of like keeping things how they are is actually kind of nice now. And how much of it's that the idea of like a progressive political party has to like continue to move, right? Like the idea of progress is that you can't just stay where you are, you have to keep going. And where the idea of conservative, I guess, is you're wanting to keep things where they are. Like that's kind of just what I'm thinking right now, right? So it would kind of, it could also make sense that there would be young people who see some things that they would like changed, you know, and maybe that gets accomplished, and they're like, cool, now I'm good with stuff. But that political party that they were voting for has to keep moving, because that's the name of that party. So since they're gonna have to keep moving, you're getting left behind rather than you're actually, instead of it being like you yourself are like shifting over, you're being shifted aside. You know what I mean?
Turns it over in the middle.
Get over here.
Quickly, time running out. Martin.
Can they get one more? Little kick. Oh, that won't be another goal or score. But we get a nice little game. We're at half time.
Head to the rooms with a narrow lead. We could have a thriller on our hands. Let's head down to Gary Lowen on the boundary.
A low-scoring affair so far. Hopefully both coaches will be more offensively minded.
It's just a fascinating thing in my mind to think about, where at the age I am now, like even when I would have been younger, when I would, like even now today, I can see that the life I have, and I try and think how much of, like, I think of my life circumstances and everything that you're with. It doesn't matter, like the people you talk to, the people you're hearing and everything, that's going to be an influence. The life circumstances, that's always an influence, right?
This is traveling close to the behind.
You take your nature, your inner core, and then you're surrounded with all these environmental influences. It's going to help. It's going to be what builds your view on how things are and what things need to happen, right? And I think about my life being
just as they were looking dangerous,
in a lot of ways not emotionally tied to, I guess, normal life. So then I look at the normal life and I'd be like, oh my god, I see this thing that isn't great and stuff, and I'm like, you know what, like this can all be true, and at the same time it's easier for me to want to say, sure, this thing is bad, and maybe and look at something negatively, because I'm not as emotionally tied right now into keeping it in place. Where like maybe we go through a few years and and maybe something becomes more established, and I'm like trying to hold on to something that I've worked on, and then I go, oh, whoa, what do you mean, like, knock things down? Excuse me, I've spent time, energy building this up, okay, and you just want to knock this thing down, you petulant little bitch child? You know, you little twerp, you don't have life, you don't have experience, you don't know what you're talking about, you've never built something in your life.
Had more time than he thought.
Mr. Sard.
They could be in front in a minute. Heppel might go.
It's just interesting to think about how much of our like agreements and disagreements with each other are actually based on like us having what would it be, like principled like positions on how good and bad actions are, and how much of it's just the position we're in terms of we're not the ones benefiting from it right now, so and then that's like, I wonder how much of it's just that simple difference, you know? Like the main one is like free speech, right? How many people actually give a shit about free speech? Like, it's very easy to think free speech is great when doing so allows the speech that you want to say be said without much of a consequence, right? You know, that's easy. But come on, get rid of that. But like, when you see speech that you don't like, how interested are you going to be in like maybe silencing it a little, trying to not platform it, you know? That's just like, that's something I'll think about even within myself, because I like to think of myself as someone who like is into free speech, and like I can have my reasons behind it, being like, hey, without free speech, like gay marriage doesn't become a thing, and like gay marriage is supposed to be good, right? But then you come over there, like it's that idea of like, well, without it, you don't get the ability to look at something that's established and say, well, maybe there's a better idea that we can go with, you know? And it's like, oh yeah, that sounds great. But then you have to like, but then it's like, well, if that's what you want, that's also going to include things that you really don't like, and it leaves it open for those things you don't like to become popular enough to beat out what the thing that you like. And are you going to want free speech then, you know?
Davey Jr. Perkins.
Come with Mr. Perkins.
Sets up a foot race. Not good footy there. Chera.
Kicks this way. Mr. Pitternet. There you go.
He's kicked it hard.
Can they get the mark? No, they cannot. It will come to the left. Gets the Thatcher.
It's a high kick. A real rainmaker. Kelly.
Here you are. You got this way.
Motlop.
Handballs. Little kick.
Heads for the pocket.
Is that Motlop? Oh, he's posted it. He has posted it.
That was a promising build-up and deserved a better finish.
Danger here.
That's with handball.
He ran into a brick wall.
Go this way.
Kennedy.
That's way, yes. Like I can see the, like in my head, I'm literally thinking of the whole like, oh yeah, you got freedom of speech, you know? Like technically, yes, everyone has the ability to say whatever we want, and it's like, well, you don't get freedom from consequences, you know? And it's like, well, what are those consequences gonna be? Who are delivering those consequences? That's always the thing. Like we technically always have the ability to say anything we want. You know, like the only thing stopping us is ourselves from actually saying something. And the reason we don't say something is because we're like, oh my god, I think the consequences that might come my way are things I just don't want to deal with. You know, get the ball up there. Whether that's from a government organization, a government entity, or if that's just like, this person just isn't gonna like me too much. Oh god, I wish that person would like me. So I'm just gonna not say the things.
And we'll have a throw in.
Just to try and avoid that uncomfortability situation.
There'll always be plenty of mistakes made, but if you can consistently make your
There you go.
opposition pay for theirs,
Like this is something that always fascinates me to think of, right? Like the example I was using, like gay marriage, and being like, hey, it's not a bad thing that people can be gay and get together with people that are just the same as them, you know? Like I'm fascinated because there's so much of a time period where that wasn't the majority thought, right? Like just think of and then. Well, actually, that's an interesting thing. Is it actually today majority that it's fine? Or is that just like a warped view within like the realm of like Australia and maybe some other countries? Like I'm pretty sure majority of people are like cool with it now. But I'm just interested in thinking of it like would how many of us like 100 years ago would go around being like, hey, that's not a bad thing if you like were just put into that place where the majority opinion was that it was so bad and all that stuff, you know? How many of us today are going around being like, it's okay to be gay because we would always go around saying it's okay, or are we just saying it because we feel safe to say it, you know? We feel like we'll be in a majority opinion to be able to feel good about saying that.
Perkins, Aaron hand pass, and they've turned it over. McGovern, Saar.
Kick down there.
Kick, it's a poor one. That's an uncharacteristic mistake. Happy to be patient.
Like it's interesting because it's like back then it would have been like it would have been like fine to say that it's bad to be gay. But then, like, it might be, then it would be more considered bad to say that you think it's okay. But nowadays, with things like flipped around, it's like, okay, so, that's the thing with, that's like, it connects to that free speech thing, right? Where, a little bit, where it's like, oh, the people of the yesterdays were fighting to be able to say it was okay to be gay, and now those people, the people on that side of that opinion are now like fighting for the fight would probably like quite a bit of it would be fighting to look at the people who say it's not okay to say they can't say that, you know? That's what I mean by like how much of when we say things, how much of it, like a free speech as an example, are we saying like okay, instead of just saying free speech, like expression of opinion, right? Are we saying, what was I saying? How much of it's just based on the position of power in terms of, how much do we care about being able to express opinions, and how much do we just want our opinion to be expressed and the other ones to be squashed, you know? I see that. How much of that in just the such of the sexuality topic, how much of it's the people of today, we've like grown up now, in a time where it's more and more accepted, you know, and more accepted, and then it's like, so we didn't grow up in the times of when when the tide would have been turning, right? As much. Okay, come here. Where we'd be like, oh my god, like, sure, people might have their different opinions, but they should still be able to express them. Like, we come at the point where we're like, yeah, this is what's being expressed. Oh my god, these people are expressing this other opinion? How dare they? How dare they?
That's well played. The Blues guarding the corridor.
It's like I think about that type of thing.
And took a ripper.
Where it's like, hey, oh, don't get rid of that. It's Carlton.
Goes long.
Who you got?
Spud Frawley would have loved that one.
Keep it going. Oh, Motlop's coming to it.
Motlop.
Who you got it that way?
Misses the target. And
all right then. Not much scoring in that quarter. But we will head into the last in a close game again. 2-point game here. Carlton have the lead.
The Blues have got their noses in front as we turn for home, but you get the feeling there'll be some lead changes in the final term. Time for some more insights from Gary on the boundary.
Both teams need to dig deep and maintain
Like,
their
it's the type of
intensity
I'll
right
think
to the
about it
final
like,
siren.
okay,
I've got a
we
feeling
have
this
this
one's
set
going to,
opinion,
possibly to
but
the
then we
final
like
minute.
over time
Who can think clearly enough under pressure
change to say that the
consistently make
opposite
right
is
choices
actually
and
better
hit
and
targets?
everything. It's like,
It all
okay,
gets
are we going
harder
to
when
say,
physical fatigue sets in.
are we going to then
Couldn't
say
agree
that,
more, Gary.
sure,
Thanks
we
for that.
changed our minds and stuff, but we need to be willing,
Redmond
be open to actually changing back, you know?
delivers a long ball. Pitnet with a big fist. Perkins knew the tackle.
Oh, okay. You got Redmond.
He's completely shanked it.
It's a waste of a promising build-up.
Oopsies.
That's skill.
And you have,
Mark it when you can do that. McDonald tipping Wood.
Well, you might want to mark it so then the other team doesn't pick up your spoils. Okay, so Sammy Walsh is down there, okay.
Chips to halfback.
Go again. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. That's the stringer.
Only a question of who will get the goal. He's got it.
It'll be him. Wiederman. That's who gets the goal. Essendon in front.
Have the first of the last quarter. The big men fly.
Do that. Oh.
Akers feeling the heat.
Up this way. To the right.
Out of the congestion.
Williams.
He hasn't been himself today.
No, that's coming back here.
A promising build-up.
Yeah, it's going to be with Padish.
Quality delivery by foot. Redmond.
I was having a moment yesterday thinking about how it's like, okay, you want to go outside and stuff, make sure you're carrying your ID and everything, right? Just like on the chances, and it's like, and that feels so weird. It feels, I mean, really it came up because I was just watching the OC and the situation came up where it's just like a police officer can just come and be like, can I see your ID? And it's like, I think about that, and I know like it's normal and stuff. I mean, we're like, oh yeah, that's just the thing that happens, whatever. But that's not. But this is the part that sounds so crazy to me, innit? Right? How it's like to leave the house, you have to like have the ID, you know? So it's like no matter where you're going, apparently you have to be like, you have to show that like.
Can't take it.
You got
Must be holding the ball, and it is.
It's kind of like the thing. It's like, oh, you are born, and then like you're claimed by the government as like a citizen, right? You are claimed. You have no like options in being able to be a citizen there. And then under the age of 18, you are considered someone who doesn't have the ability to really do stuff on your own, pretty much, right? But then once you come of age, become this adult, it's like, and it can happen like a little bit beforehand, I guess. But but in general, the idea is, okay, now that we are saying it's okay for you to make your decisions, you need to have that identification to be able to say you can like leave this house and then walk around on the streets. You know, like this just, I just like think of that. I'm like, that's fucking nuts, actually. Like, it doesn't matter if like I can understand the reasons behind it. If I can think, I can hear and understand the reasons behind it. I'm just like, the fuck? Like, our whole life is just being like this government-owned property, you know? Like, we're not even, like, we don't own our houses because, like, we can look at it and be like, oh my god, I own a house, I'm a homeowner. It's like, no you fucking not, because people within the government can just come at any point if they want to and say, you know what, we're kicking you out of here, we're taking this property. Like your house isn't owned by you, you just are renting it from the government, right? Like, it's ultimately like government property that they're just renting out to you. And it's the same thing with like your children, how it's like you have to like put your child on a birth certificate that says that they were born within the country and they are a citizen of that country, but then your child can also get taken away from you, and because they can get taken away from you, that means that ultimate ownership over that child isn't even yours, it's the government's. So you don't even own your child.
Newman at fullback.
Like, this, I just think of things like that and being like,
a chance to clear
fucking freaks me out, you know? Like, I'm trying to think of like what the right words really say that it describes in my head for it.
Straight in front, should not miss.
That's the Langfords. Imagine if he does, he could potentially miss it, but he should get it.
In he goes. Oh no! He's missed it.
I knew there was a potential of him screwing it up.
So lucky next time.
He's off. Saab heads wide with the kick in.
McWeevens.
With a chance to run.
Alba with Chera. Get the handballs.
Delightfully done.
And back here. Go again. Oops.
Got the handball away.
Gaz, what's caught your eye?
The Bombers need to generate better quality inside 50s. They're getting it in there okay, but not hitting the scoreboard as often as they'd like.
Go over here. That's Essendon. Oh.
They've coughed it up. That's unusual.
Like I remember hearing the story of the dude who got he got like he basically got stuck in a French airport because I don't remember if he intentionally or accidentally was on the flight over to France or something. I don't know. I don't remember all the story behind it, but he was there in the airport and they were like, oh, I think what happened was he got deported. I think he got deported into France or whatever, right? And then like it was like, okay, in order to leave this place or something else, or wherever he was there, it was like, you need to go and get this ID thing or a passport. You had to go get something, right? But the problem was, in order to get that thing, you had needed another thing to get, but in order to have that other thing, it was like a thing where it's like, he was stuck in a limbo because of the rules of the situation of it's like, oh my god, okay. These are just examples. You need to go get an something for your identification. You need to go get ID, right? But in order to get ID, you're gonna need some ID. To be able to get ID, you need ID. Like, it was something like that, right? And it was like, well, how the fuck is someone meant to? Like, it's like that thing, right? Like, how the fuck is someone meant to get identification? If to get identification, you need to show that you have identification, right? I don't even remember what exactly all the things were. I don't remember the exact details, but that was basically it. And it was like, this dude can't go anywhere then. Like, he couldn't go anywhere.
Tries to spike it out of the danger zone. Langford.
Yay! Another goal. Like, I feel like it was to do with like a deportation stuff. Like, he was deported from like, I don't know, somewhere like Bulgaria or something. So then it's like, it was like they took away his citizenship or something, so it's like, oh, to get citizenship here, you need like citizenship. So it was something, but it was just one of those things where it's like, oh my god, to get identification, you need to show you have identification. How am I meant to do that? I don't know, find a way. The counting.
This spells trouble.
Okay, that's coming with Carlton. Handballs in and
He's besieged.
We're coming to the final minutes of this game. The final minutes of the game. Oh, that's going to be a throw-in. Okay.
What are your thoughts, Gary?
Well, it's a real scrap out there at the moment. Both sides looking pretty disciplined and structurally sound.
Important
clearance here. Carlton. Oh, handball. Kick. Oh, who you got? Oh my goodness. Okay then. Kick it out there. Who's getting this mark? Anyone? It will be Jake Kelly. He kicks it. Over to Happel. Right to the middle of the square. Oh, they still keep it. They still keep it. Down he goes. Over to Nick Martin. In the 50. Oh, that's coming back. That's McWeevens. Handballs. Who's he get the kick to? Can he get it to his player? Nope, he spoiled that, but that actually kind of works. Hewitt, handball's back. Not good handball. Come run to the ball. That's Padish. Oh, he doesn't get rid of it. It's going to be a ball up. Okay.
Appeal for a free kick, but we'll have a stoppage. Draper with a deft tap.
If Cripps comes Pitternet. Mr. Merritt. Keep it going.
Here's a chance
to
get it forward.
What can happen? Can I get the mark? Yes!
On the end of it, they are cutting them up.
Kyle Langford. Any score will be very valuable, but a goal would be best for Essendon here. Kyle Langford kicks the goal, increases their lead to 12 points. Carlton need 2 goals to be able to get stuff from this game here.
Breathing space now. Cripps, Pitnet.
Oh, he gets the kick in there. Can they get the mark?
McGrath
No.
wins it back.
No, they cannot.
You can
It looks
see their
very good.
confidence
Comes to
grow.
Caldwell.
With a chance to
Kick
relieve
out there.
the pressure. That's
He's
good
got
vision.
Kelly.
The kick is precise.
Keep it going down.
Bombers look to be
Over
coming
to
home
Shield.
strong. Shield. They're playing with purpose.
With Caldwell.
Boys.
Handball it in. Over to Heppel.
Who's marked?
He goes into the 50.
Bombs it in.
And McDonald and Woody.
Brings
Oh,
it out wide.
let's come and get it. We're under 2 minutes.
Pete on the flank.
Carlton gets the ball. Gets the kick down there.
Good kick.
It comes.
Redmond takes it.
Nice mark.
Grab.
Nice mark by Mason Redmond there. He gets it to Setterfield. That mark was bigger. Probably is the winning mark. But that kick is not online.
Curnow mops that one up. Knew the tackle.
Handballs.
Knew where
Another
the
handball.
They'll
Oh,
sweep this
more.
one forward. Kennedy, DeConing can run.
Who can they get it to? It's deep.
Fisher.
It's a mark.
His name written all over it.
He's got a
Zach Fisher.
No excuses not to finish the job.
Needs to be able to get this. You cannot mess it up.
Heads
He
towards
doesn't mess it up.
and does
40
the
seconds to
job.
go.
Well, it's
1 goal
to get the
game.
mark, but another to have the composure to finish off your good work.
One straight
Taps.
kick is all that separates the sides.
Oh, Cripps
He's
gets rid of it.
under attention.
No, oh my
Redmond
goodness.
leads his opponent.
Kick.
Walsh. That'll be play
Motlop.
to time the
Let's
score.
go. Oh my God.
50-50 game.
To turn the ball over there, you've got to expect to pay the price.
One last shot at it. We're at a tied game now.
DeConing has rucked tirelessly. Caldwell.
It's going to be a draw. It's going to be a draw.
I asked the question.
We're going to have our second draw. Not just of the year, but of the round. It's a draw.
We're out of time. It's better than losing. But
Oh, amazing.
hollow feeling. No one walks away happy. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed.
And it ain't a situation like the Essendon, like the Adelaide West Coast one, where you could hear the song. The first time we actually hear no song, because that's what happens in their draw. There were quite a few players here who had 2 goals. Wow. Parrish had 39. Cripps had 36. A lot of Essendon players at the top of the marks. A lot of Essendon players there. But yeah, Essendon had a 2-goal lead with like 2 minutes to go. Even with a minute to go. Fisher scored a goal, lifted with 40 seconds. It was Motlop with the goal to equal it up. And it's ended up a draw. 39 for Parrish, 36 for Cripps. 57 each. Our second draw of the season.